Welcome to the Real English Learning Podcast, where real conversations help you discover real English. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Maya. Today, we are talking about something that connects millions of people across the world. Books.
And specifically, how to talk about books in English, because books are extraordinary teachers.
They really are. But here is the paradox. People who read love their books passionately. But when they try to talk about them in English, suddenly the words disappear.
You are sitting with someone who just read the same book and you want to say something meaningful, and instead you say, "It was good."
Just good, when actually you have so much more to say.
So today we are going to solve that. We are going to talk about the language of books, how to describe them, how to recommend them, how to have real conversations about what you have read.
And we are going to do it in a way that does not feel academic or pretentious. Just honest, real talk about stories that matter. Maya, tell me, what was the last book that made you lose track of time? Actually, I just finished something last week that I could not put down. I started reading at 9 in the morning and looked up, and it was already dark.
Welcome to the Real English Learning Podcast, where real conversations help you discover real English. I'm Ryan.
And I'm Maya. Today, we are talking about something that connects millions of people across the world. Books.
And specifically, how to talk about books in English, because books are extraordinary teachers.
They really are. But here is the paradox. People who read love their books passionately. But when they try to talk about them in English, suddenly the words disappear.
You are sitting with someone who just read the same book and you want to say something meaningful, and instead you say, "It was good."
Just good, when actually you have so much more to say.
So today we are going to solve that. We are going to talk about the language of books, how to describe them, how to recommend them, how to have real conversations about what you have read.
And we are going to do it in a way that does not feel academic or pretentious. Just honest, real talk about stories that matter. Maya, tell me, what was the last book that made you lose track of time? Actually, I just finished something last week that I could not put down. I started reading at 9 in the morning and looked up, and it was already dark.
So you are giving plot points, emotional context, and what it meant to you, but not the ending.
Exactly. And honestly, if you mess up and accidentally steal something, just apologize. People appreciate the honesty.
That is very kind. But ideally, you want to get it right so people actually want to pick up the book.
You do, because the goal is not to tell the story. The goal is to recommend the story, to make someone curious enough to read it themselves.
But beyond the plot, there is something else that happens when a book touches you. Something emotional, something personal. How do you talk about that?
That is where it gets interesting, because different books touch different people for different reasons.
Can you give an example?
I have a friend who cried reading a book about a mother and daughter reconnecting. But for me, that same book was interesting but not moving. However, another book about someone feeling completely lost in a foreign city, that destroyed me.
Because you have felt that particular loneliness. The book mirrored something in your own experience.
Exactly. So when you are talking about why a book matters to you, it is not just about the book. It is also about what it awakened in you.
So the language is not just the characters are well written. It is more like The main character's uncertainty felt so familiar.
Yes. Or the author captured something about grief that I have never seen expressed before. Or I recognized myself in this character in a way that felt almost uncomfortable.
Those are the conversations that matter. Not whether the plot was good, but what the story activated inside you.
And I think that is where many English learners get stuck. They focus on plot summary when what they should be doing is exploring how the book made them feel.
What are the phrases that help with that?
Things like, I could not relate to the main character, but I understood why they made the choices they did. Or, the ending left me thinking about my own life. Or, there was this moment where I had to stop reading because I needed to process what I just learned.
Those are profound statements. Those are the conversations that draw people in.
Because you are not just summarizing, you are sharing what the book did to you. And that is what makes recommendation powerful.
So the language is about emotional honesty, not literary analysis.
Exactly. You do not need to use fancy terminology. You just need to be honest about what moved you and why.
But what about when you are actually in a conversation with someone else who has read the book? That is a different dynamic.
It is, because now you are not recommending to someone who has not read it. You are discussing with someone who has their own experience with the same story.
And those conversations can go wrong pretty easily. What if you loved the book and they hated it?
That happens constantly, and it can feel personal, like they are attacking something that mattered to you.
So how do you handle disagreement about books?
By remembering that their reading experience is as valid as yours, even if it is different. You can say, I absolutely understand why that character frustrated you. I actually loved that about them, but I see your point.
So you are validating their experience while staying true to yours.
Exactly. And honestly, those conversations are often more interesting than when two people just agree that a book is amazing.
Because disagreement forces you to articulate why something mattered to you.
Yes, someone questions your interpretation, and suddenly you have to defend why you read the book that way. And that is a real conversation.
What about when you are discussing with someone who is still reading the book? Do you have to be careful?
Incredibly careful. You basically have to ask, have you finished? And if they have not, you have to avoid almost everything. Even saying what genre it is can be a spoiler.
So basically tiptoe around the entire thing.
Completely tiptoe. Maybe just say, I am really enjoying it. Come back and talk to me when you are done.
That is actually very kind. It protects their reading experience.
And when they finish, you can have the full conversation, because then you can say anything without worrying.
So the rule is protect other people's reading experiences the way you would want yours protected.
Exactly. Because a book is a gift, and spoiling it is like giving away what is inside the gift before they have opened it.
That is a beautiful way to think about it, and it changes how you have these conversations.
And one more thing, reading different books in different languages. That is its own conversation.
What do you mean?
Some books are just better in certain languages. The wordplay, the cultural context, sometimes even the humor. A book that is beautiful in English might feel flat in translation.
So, talking about reading in a non native language is important. Acknowledging that you are reading a translation changes the conversation.
It does. You are not reading the author's original words. You are reading an interpretation of them, and that matters for understanding.
So when you discuss the book, you can say, the English translation was lyrical, but I wonder what it sounded like in the original. And that becomes part of the conversation.
Exactly. Which is a sophisticated way to think about reading altogether, that the language shapes the experience, not just the story itself.
And that is something English learners are uniquely positioned to understand, because reading in a second language is its own special experience.
It really is. You notice things native speakers might not notice because language is not automatic for you.
So reading books in English is not just building vocabulary. It is gaining this different relationship with language entirely.
And the conversations you have about those books are part of that learning. Speaking about what you read in English deepens the whole experience.
Which brings us to the actual words that make these conversations easier. Should we explore those?
Yes. I think knowing the vocabulary of book discussion will make our listeners feel so much more confident.
And it is not obscure or pretentious. It is just the words people actually use when they talk about books.
Let's share them. Now, welcome to the Word Tour. 8 words that unlock book conversations, vocabulary you will hear and use when discussing literature.
These are not academic terms. They are the real, everyday words that readers use when they talk about stories that matter.
First, gripping. Gripping means so interesting or exciting that you cannot stop paying attention or stop reading.
Example 1. The book was so gripping that I read it in 2 days without stopping.
Example 2. A gripping narrative is one where you have to know what happens next. Repeat. Gripping. Gripping.
Next, narrative. A narrative is the story itself, the way events are told and arranged, the structure of the story.
Example 1. The narrative was told from multiple perspectives, which added depth to the story.
Example 2. A complex narrative can be rewarding to unravel, but it requires close reading. Repeat. Narrative. Narrative.
Next, compelling. Compelling means so interesting or convincing that you cannot ignore it, that you are drawn to it powerfully.
Example 1. The main character was compelling because she was flawed and real, not perfect.
Example 2. A compelling storyline keeps you engaged even when you think you know where it is going. Repeat. Compelling. Compelling.
Next, character arc. A character arc is the journey of change a character goes through, how they develop and transform throughout the story.
Example 1. The most satisfying part of the book was watching her character arc unfold across the pages.
Example 2. Good novels show meaningful character arcs where people learn and change. Repeat. Character arc. Character arc.
Next, resolve. As a verb, resolve means to settle or conclude something. In plot terms, it means how conflicts and questions are finally answered.
Example 1. The mystery did not resolve until the very last chapter, which felt earned.
Example 2. Some readers want the ending to resolve all questions. Others prefer ambiguity. Repeat. Resolve. Resolve.
Next, poignant. Poignant means touching the emotions in a deep way. Bittersweet, moving, often tinged with sadness or regret.
Example 1. The ending was poignant because it was happy, but tinged with the weight of everything that came before.
Example 2. A poignant moment in a book is one that stays with you long after you finish reading. Repeat. Poignant. Poignant.
Next, prose.
Prose is the written language of a book, as distinct from poetry. It refers to the author's style and the way they write.
Example 1. Her prose was so beautiful that sometimes I just stopped to appreciate a single sentence.
Example 2. The prose style of that author is very distinctive. You can recognize their books immediately. Repeat. Prose. Prose.
And our final word, immerse. To immerse yourself in something means to become completely absorbed in it, to be fully inside the experience.
Example 1. A great book lets you immerse yourself completely in another world.
Example 2. Reading is immersive in a way that most other media cannot match. You are inside the character's mind. Repeat. Immerse. Immerse. Your 8 words: gripping, narrative, compelling, character arc, resolve, poignant, prose, immerse.
These words will help you talk about books with confidence and depth.
And that is our episode. How to talk about books you love in English.
The beautiful thing is, reading and talking about reading are both ways of building connection with the author, with characters, with other readers.
And doing that in English expands those connections even further. You are not just reading a book, you are joining a global conversation about it.
So, whether you just finished a book that moved you, or you are still looking for your next great read, the conversations you have in English are part of your learning and part of your growth.
Our comment question: tell us about a book that changed how you see the world. What was it? What did it teach you? We would love to hear.
We read every comment, and we are genuinely interested in the stories that have mattered to you.
Subscribe to the Real English Learning Podcast for thoughtful, meaningful conversations.
Take care of your English and read something beautiful. This is Ryan.
And this is Maya. We will see you in the next podcast. Bye.